Sa rainforest ng Pilipinas, where the mighty Philippine Eagle rules the skies, but its kingdom is shrinking. Deforestation has slashed the habitat of this critically endangered raptor. And to help raise awareness, the Philippine Fauna Art Society is organizing the 100 Artists for the Philippine Eagle event next week, June 25 to 30, over at the National Museum of Natural History. Let's talk about this more, along with the updates on the Philippine Eagle conservation efforts, with Jason Ibañez, Director for Operations of the Philippine Eagle Foundation. He joins us live via Zoom. Good evening, Jason, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes, good evening, Regina, Sean, and Gretchen.
Right, so first and foremost, can you give us an overview of how conservation efforts are going for the Philippine Eagle? We know how rare and how important and majestic the bird is, but how many eagles or monkey-eating eagles or Philippine eagles are still left in the wild?
Yes, so of course, the Philippine eagle is our national bird and it's only found in the Philippines. But unfortunately, it's still critically endangered, meaning if we don't conserve our national bird, there's a 50% chance that we're going to lose it within this generation. So as you can imagine, we're still pushing through with conserving every individual of Philippine eagles across the country. And we've been deploying a mix of techniques, including education campaigns, site-based, going to communities and convincing villages to help with the conservation. We also do public education campaigns. There's also social media campaigns. There's also law enforcement. And then, as mentioned earlier, we're also aggressive at facilitating forest conservation as well as reforestation. Because, of course, the Philippine eagle is very much dependent on tropical forests, like everyone else. The Philippine eagles cannot live outside of the forest, and that's a major reason why the population has declined. More than 80% of its original forest cover has been lost. And on top of that, you also have cases of some Filipinos still shooting and hunting and then trapping our national bird. It's very easy to fall in love with our national bird, as you can see. It's one of the most beautiful and also one of the largest raptors of the world. It has a flamboyant crest. It's very majestic, but unfortunately, probably because of poverty and lack of awareness, Filipinos are still shooting, trapping, and hunting our birds. And high mortality rate is still hurting our Philippine eagles. So together with the government, what we're trying to do is to increase awareness, increase local participation, reduce shooting and hunting, reduce mortality rates. And a leveling up of our initiatives is also to release Philippine eagles in forests that are believed to be still suitable for Philippine eagles but are vacant. And then by doing this, we're trying to increase population numbers of the Philippine eagles in the wild.
Jason, do we have a number of eagles so far? And where do these eagles thrive and abound in the Philippines?
Right. So based on our latest estimate, we have no more than 392 pairs of Philippine eagles across the country. They're found only on 4 major islands, namely Luzon, Leyte, Samar, and Mindanao. Based on our studies, Mindanao has the largest remaining population, more than 60% or about 200 more or less pairs. And then you have more than 100 pairs in Luzon, mainly along the Sierra Madre Mountains and the Cordillera region. And then you have a few pairs in Samar. But in Leyte, we think because of the super typhoon Yolanda, we've already lost our Philippine eagles there. And one of the objectives, an exciting mission, daunting mission, is also to reintroduce Philippine eagles to Leyte, where you still have adequate habitats as well as vacant habitats for Philippine eagles.
That's exactly what caught our attention. That's why we invited you. We saw that you had transported a pair of eagles over to Leyte, and I think you're going to set them free next week on June 28. Can you tell us where these two eagles came from? Did you breed these in the facility over in Davao, which I have visited 2 times? It's quite big. And I know you do a breeding program to get them to mate. How successful has that been? And did these two eagles that are going to be set free in Leyte come from that breeding program?
Right. Well, so you're right. We're very excited to release the first two eagles out of potentially 18 eagles to recolonize the habitats on Leyte. Now, these Philippine eagles, the first installment, are actually hatched and rescued from the wild. No? So, one Philippine eagle, female Philippine eagle Carlito, is about 6 years old. She was rescued from the forest of Agusan del Sur. Unfortunately, she was accidentally trapped in a native trap intended for deer and wild pig. That's the challenge with our Philippine eagles. Now, we know it as the king of the skies. No? They do majestic flights, but they're also actively walking on the ground. No, we've seen them do that. They do that to chase snakes, catch cobras, monitor lizards, as well as rodents. So they're vulnerable to traps set by natives, no, our indigenous peoples, intended for deer and wild pigs. So that's accidental trapping. And then the other eagle, a male eagle, was shot, and then it was rescued by one of the indigenous Bagubo Tagabawa of Mount Apo. So they're practically hatched and reared in the wild, rescued, but we're giving them a second chance at life by being the first Philippine eagle to be released in Leyte as part of our conservation translocation program. And you're right, we do conservation breeding of Philippine eagles at the Philippine Eagle Center in our new facility at Mount Apo. Now we have two facilities now. We have a total of 36 eagles. We've bred 29 eagles so far. The first captive bred eagle is Philippine Eagle Pag-asa. But so far, we still have yet to release captive bred birds to the wild successfully. So that's an ongoing project, and we hope we'll be more successful in the next few years in our new breeding facility at Mount Apo.
I'm sorry. I was just about to ask a question. I'm so sorry. Okay. I ended up swallowing a little bit of saliva there. I was just going to say, what kind of support does the Philippine Eagle Foundation need? I'm guessing monetary support is always welcome, but what else?
Yeah, so of course we're getting a lot of help from volunteer professionals, from the youth. We want more of that. With our release in Leyte, we want or we need people who would help us do education campaigns in the uplands. Of course, we need philanthropists and kind-hearted people to help us bring support as well as incentives to communities who consciously decided to help conserve Philippine eagles. Consciously meaning, communities abandon their traditional hunting, communities who are willing to stop slash and burn farming and then opt for alternative livelihoods. So we really need corporations, individuals to provide funding to these incentives, so to speak. We really needed to show to our villages, those people in the uplands, that they're better off saving the eagles than shooting and trapping the eagles or destroying their habitats. And we can only do that if we provide tangible benefits. For instance, we have an ongoing community-based project in one of the oldest nesting sites in Mount Apo. Philippine eagles are very loyal to the places where they breed. They use the same nesting sites over and over again, generations of eagle couples. So if you want to save the Philippine eagles and then make sure that the pairs, monogamous and territorial pairs, continue to breed, you need to protect these nesting sites. And the best way to do it is, again, to support the communities. We're currently implementing a water system project. It's one of the aspirations of the indigenous community. They said, if you help us with these basic social services that we don't receive, and we get them, we'll be very happy to support and take care of the eagles, because we know that they're friendly neighbors, and they brought this assistance and these benefits to us. So that's what we're trying to do, secure each of the nesting sites as possible, breed or facilitate human and eagle good relationships, and then also, again, release eagles in vacant habitats where, they get protected and they continue to breed and then add numbers to the dwindling wild population.
Right, definitely a win-win situation over there. I do follow you guys on Facebook. I hope everyone does too, to keep up with the conservation efforts. But tonight, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time tonight. Jason Ibañez, Director for Operations over at the Philippine Eagle Foundation.